Whoa! This tariff stuff is getting real. China just imposed 15% on imports coming from America. All kinds, pork bellies, you name it, coming off a farm. They're going to put a 15% tariff on it. People are losing their mind. I still feel this is like the negotiation, brinksmanship phase. And I am unfazed because President Trump has been anticipating this and planning for this for decades.
You took out a full-page ad in major U.S. newspapers last year criticizing U.S. foreign policy. What would you do differently, Donald?
I'd make our allies, forgetting about the enemies you can't talk to so easily, I'd make our allies pay their fair share. We're a debtor nation. Something's going to happen over the next number of years with this country, because you can't keep going on losing $200 billion, and yet we let Japan come in and dump everything right into our markets and everything. It's not free trade. If you ever go to Japan right now and try to sell something, forget about it.
So he's been talking about this stuff for that 1988. That is 37 years ago. He's anticipated this. I know a lot of people haven't, right? A lot of people don't like it, but he's been breaking the rules basically his entire life, certainly in politics. When he came down that escalator, defied every basic convention of political norms, would raise his hand when the question was, will you promise to support the Republican nominee? No. How am I going to know? Well, I can't say that now. Who's it going to be? What do they stand for? I'm not going to say that. And they said he couldn't win. That was the death knell of his campaign. He went on to become president and beat ISIS. It had been plaguing the Obama administration for 3.5 years. He beat it. In a matter of months, actually, no credit, he was opposed to the Iraq War, one of the greatest mistakes and blunders, catastrophic failures in this country's history. He did move that embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem when everybody said, you can't do it, no way, it's impossible, no, he just did it. And he beat every single phony case against him. Now, they were phony cases, but when they come at you all at once, that's tough. That's tough. So when it comes to this current debate on tariffs and the economy, I'm not an economist, but I don't trust these people, do you?
Trump reverses himself, pulling back some steep tariffs on America's largest trading partners. As markets plunge and fears grow, a trade war will raise prices, cost jobs, and slow the economy.
Exceptionally steep tariffs in a way that is guaranteed to bring retaliation and do harm to the U.S. economy. It just seems not to be in the U.S. interest.
The fallacy is that the foreign country pays for these tariffs. Wrong. I'm a U.S. citizen with a U.S. company. I'm the one paying for these tariffs, and my only recourse is to pass this on to the consumers. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's the fallacy. The fantasy is that you're going to bring these jobs back to America with these tariffs.
Everybody needs to calm down a little bit and have some faith. A lot of those people don't want to have faith. They just want to be afraid, and they're Trump haters. I'm not sure about the last guy, but the mainstream media, the establishment, Democrats, a lot of rhinos out there, they want people to be panicked, so all this stuff gets reversed. This is a great example of that. The New York Times, take a look. That is one scary line. Like, look at that stock market. Oh, my goodness gracious, we are in big trouble. Well, look a little bit more closely, okay? Look at that. Oops, 1 second. The stocks have their worst day of 2025 as fears grow. How long has 2025 been in effect, folks? 9 weeks? And if you look really closely at this graph over here, March 8th, March 7th, March 20th, these are days, okay? What are we, all day trading out there? That's not how most people react. If you reacted like this to the economy, you would be selling stocks and getting poor really, really quick. It doesn't work that way. What he has been saying, though, has been consistent when he was 34 years old and as a president of the United States.
We're being ripped off by every country in the world, including our so-called friends.
The United States has been ripped off by virtually every country in the world. We have deficits with almost every country.
Look, our country's been ripped off by everybody, and that stops now.
It stops now. And again, a long time ago, this man's been thinking about this very scenario that we're in the middle of right now, potentially.
You've said, though, that if you did run for president, you believe you'd win.
Well, I don't know. I think I'd win. I tell you what, I wouldn't go in to lose. I've never gone in to lose in my life. And if I did decide to do it, I think I'd be inclined, I would say that I would have a hell of a chance of winning, because I think people, I don't know how your audience feels, but I think people are tired of seeing the United States ripped off. And I can't promise you everything, but I can tell you one thing, this country would make one hell of a lot of money from those people that for 25 years have taken advantage. It wouldn't be the way it's been, believe me.
After everything that we've been through, that I've seen him do, that I've seen him overcome, I believe him. I think she believes him. The audience found him very, very compelling all the way back then. It was a fascinating moment with Oprah. So let's go back. We had tariffs. We've had tariffs our entire country's history. And that old-timey Boston port, right? There were tariffs left and right. Now, they were de-emphasized somewhat in the 20th century. The income tax became our chief revenue stream. People think that that is like 1776 stuff, Philadelphia. No, 1913, and Woodrow Wilson, one of our worst presidents. And then the new cargo coming off. It's interesting. We're suddenly like not as smart as we were 100 years ago. Our technology has improved, but we are being victimized throughout the world. And yeah, this stuff is not popular. And this is where I think the awesome potential of the second term of the Trump presidency kicks in. He's not running for re-election. And he will, from time to time, do things that perhaps we don't like, or some people don't like initially. He anticipated that as well.
Somebody with strong views, and somebody with the kind of views that are maybe a little bit unpopular, which may be right, but may be unpopular, wouldn't necessarily have a chance of getting elected against somebody with no great brain but a big smile.
So something that's been on his mind for a long time, doing the right thing, even though it's not popular. He doesn't have to run for re-election. I think there will be, from time to time, things you got to do that may not poll instantly very well, or might not be reflected in the last 72 hours on the stock market very well. What was that? Let's put it up one more time. There is a way to make money here. I can't promise you everything, but I can tell you one thing. This country would make a hell of a lot of money. What are they talking at? The External Revenue Service, the ERS, a whole new paradigm, and it's happening right now. All right, next, please. The new Swalwell. Move over, Eric Swalwell. You are so 2024. The new guy in town, the new fool, sorry, is the front man there, Senator Chris Murphy, Democrat of Connecticut. He really does enjoy making a spectacle out of himself, saying outrageous things, and it gets him on TikTok. It gets him, he's the new Adam Schiff, and he seems to be loving it.
Undocumented immigrants had substantially lower crime rates than native-born citizens and legal immigrants across a range of felony offenses.
Donald Trump wants us to have our closest relationships with despots all around the world, because that makes it easier for him to transition America into a kleptocratic oligarchy where Elon Musk and Donald Trump rule and steal from the American people.
The Democratic strategy for 30 years, maybe, and it has failed to deliver for the people we care about most, the undocumented Americans that are in this country.
The people we care about most, illegal aliens, right? Musk and President Trump just want to steal stuff, and illegals don't commit crime. He is dumb enough, stupid enough to be the next Democrat nominee. He's right up there with Kamala, so his political future appears bright, and he is tickled because he says this outrageous stuff. It does wind up on his son's TikTok. My 16-year-old son, for the first time, he said to me, "What's going on? My friends are seeing your stuff," Mr. Murphy said. I'm showing up on a 16-year-old TikTok feed. That actually should tell you something, and it's not a good thing, Murph. All right, next, please. So there is a downside to all this great stuff that's happening at DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. There is violence in the streets, probably paid for by dark money. I don't think these things just happen. And threats against Elon Musk's life. He is making an enormous sacrifice for this country, and his business is taking a hit. And some of the employees, They trashed Teslas all over the country over the past couple of days. Take a look at this. It happened in New York City.
Wait, but what are they doing? What is this? Whoa, what the hell? Wait, what is this? What the hell? What do we got a mouth on? Wait, what are you doing to this guy?
What are you doing with this guy? He just vandalized a Tesla. He shouldn't be arrested. He shouldn't be detained. Anyway, all over the country. Look at that. F Elon. That's what it says on the side of that Cybertruck. I don't even like the Cybertrucks, to be honest, and I hear you got to charge them up and they don't go very fast. But that's fine. It's a choice. It's another cool thing about Elon Musk. He's not forcing any of this stuff on anybody. Take a look at what happened in Seattle to a bunch of his cars.
Clear how this all started, but again, with everything that's happening in America right now, with anti-Elon Musk hate, all the protests and incidents of vandalism, it appears to be arson.
Hey, Chief, how much do you want us to we can multiply the investigation to start our
Got it. All right. Thank you so much. All right. There you have it. Seattle Fire saying there are actually several vehicles involved in this. Right now, I just arrived at the scene. It is a Cybertruck that is totally torched. SFD putting out some of the hot spots right now, but apparently there's some other vehicles that have been torched as well in this Tesla.
Terrible. What do they say? It's so much easier to destroy than to create. This has the hallmarks in my book of Antifa. And these days, it's actually okay to suspect Antifa. We'll see how this all pans out. Wait, we got a couple of more, actually. This is Boston.
It ain't funny. President Musk is stealing your money.
How did that go again? It ain't funny. President Musk is stealing our money. Needs work. And then in Ann Arbor, Michigan, they turned out on the side of the road and surrounded a Tesla dealership there. Take a look. That's a lot of people. And I suspect, and there are indications from the United States Senate, they're looking at this, and a lot of other people are looking at it. This has all the hallmarks of dark money. And who can forget when that Cybertruck exploded in Las Vegas? Who can forget? Actually, it's pretty easy to forget. So much is going on. That happened, what, on New Year's Day, right? Right outside of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. Was it something along these lines? Were they anticipating? Were they, who knows? So much is still unknown. And a media remarkably incurious. This is a major sacrifice of Elon Musk, an incredibly talented person who's offering his services, but at tremendous risk to himself.
One argument for me staying alive is that it's more entertaining if I'm alive than if I'm dead.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I just hope, but I could be alive and like injured, which would suck. You know,
right.
Like the wing just like shoot my arm off or something.
Right. No, we don't want that.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Information. Truth. Is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.